The pounding on my door at 3 a.m. jolted me awake. Through the peephole, I saw Emily, my younger sister, drenched from the rain, one hand protectively cradling her swollen belly. My name is Kate Mitchell, and at 32, I never expected to make a choice that would tear our family apart. "Katie, please," Emily sobbed as I opened the door. I didn't know where else to go. She looked terrible. Mascara streaked down her face, clothes soaked and shivering violently. At 7 months pregnant, she shouldn't have been out in this weather. I pulled her inside without hesitation. "And what happened?" "Where's Marcus?" Marcus, her husband of 3 years, had always seemed perfect. Successful lawyer, charming smile, our parents' dream son-in-law. "Hey," Emily's voice cracked. "He's been having an affair." When I confronted him, she lifted her sleeve, revealing dark bruises. "He said the baby probably isn't even his." "Katie, he's been acting strange for months, but tonight, I was scared he might." My blood ran cold. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed. Mom's name flashed on the screen, followed by a text. "Emily just left Marcus. Don't you dare let her in. She made her bed. Now she can lie in it." I stared at the message in disbelief. How did Mom already know? And more importantly, how could she be so cruel? Another text followed. "Your father and I warned her about getting pregnant so soon. She chose to ignore us. She deserves to be alone." Emily peered at my phone, fresh tears spilling. "They already called you." Mom said. She said I was dead to them for leaving Marcus. She said I was throwing away the perfect marriage for silly suspicions. Her hands trembled as she pulled out her own phone, showing me a series of horrific messages from our mother. I felt sick. Our parents had always been image-obsessed, more concerned with appearances than their daughter's well-being. Emily had been their pride and joy, until now. The perfect daughter who married the perfect man, living the perfect life they'd scripted for her. "You're staying here," I said firmly, sending a quick text to Mom. "She's safe. That's all you need to know." Mom's response was immediate. "Catherine Ann Mitchell, if you take her in, you're no longer our daughter. Think carefully about your next move." I thought about our family dynamics, how Emily had always followed their rules, always sought their approval. I'd been the rebel, moving across the city to pursue my career instead of settling down with their choice of suitor. Maybe that's why I could see through their manipulation more clearly. Have you eaten?" I asked, already heading to the kitchen. She shook her head, still crying silently. As I heated up leftover soup, my phone exploded with calls. Mom, Dad, even Marcus. I silenced them all. Emily needed a safe space, not more guilt and manipulation. Marcus told them I'm lying about everything, Emily whispered, settling at my kitchen counter. He said I'm having mental issues because of the pregnancy. Mom believed him instantly. I set the soup in front of her, my decision crystallizing. "Listen to me, You're staying here as long as you need. We'll get you a doctor's appointment tomorrow to check on the baby, and I'm calling my friend Anna. She's a divorce attorney. But Mom and Dad can either support you or stay out of your life. There's no middle ground here, Not when your safety and my niece or nephew's future is at stake." My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a family group text from Mom. "Emily has had a mental breakdown. She's making horrible accusations about Marcus. If anyone helps her continue this delusion, they're no longer welcome in this family." I watched Emily eat her soup, saw the fear and exhaustion in her eyes, and made my choice. Some things were more important than keeping peace in the family. Some choices defined who you really were. Picking up my phone, I typed a response that would change everything. "Emily and her baby are safe with me. Anyone who chooses to believe an abuser over their own daughter is the one who's lost their way. Don't contact us again unless you're ready to hear the truth." Then I blocked them all. Mom, Dad, Marcus, and the string of relatives already jumping in to take sides. Emily needed protection, support, and love. 3 things our parents had forgotten in their quest for perfect appearances. Looking at my sister, I saw strength beneath her tears. She'd chosen to leave, to protect herself and her baby, despite knowing she'd lose everything. Now it was my turn to choose, and I chose her. "Get some rest," I said, leading her to my spare room. "Tomorrow we start fighting back." The next few weeks were a battlefield of legal threats and family drama. Marcus, proving himself even worse than we thought, launched a full-scale campaign to paint Emily as an unstable pregnant woman having delusions. Our parents, still firmly in his corner, helped spread this narrative through our entire social circle. But Marcus made one crucial mistake. The day after Emily fled to my house, he sent her a series of threatening texts, not realizing she'd started documenting everything. "You think anyone will believe you? I own this town. Your own parents know you're crazy. Come home now, or you'll never see a penny of our money." Anna, my divorce attorney friend, was brilliant. She helped Emily file for an emergency protection order, using the texts and photographs of Emily's bruises as evidence. When Marcus was served with the papers at his law firm, his mask of perfection finally cracked. "You've ruined everything." He showed up at my building one evening, drunk and raging. Thank goodness for security cameras and my doorman Miguel. His recorded tirade became Exhibit A in our growing case against him. Our mother's response was equally volatile, but in her typical passive-aggressive style. She started calling my elderly neighbors, claiming she was worried about her daughter's mental health. Mrs. Sullivan from next door, bless her heart, recorded every call and handed them straight to me. "Your mother seems very concerned about appearances," Mrs. Sullivan said with a knowing look. "Shame she's not more concerned about her pregnant daughter's safety." Emily grew stronger each day, though the journey wasn't easy. We discovered Marcus had been monitoring her phone, her social media, even her banking activities. With Anna's help, we began untangling Emily's life from his control. The turning point came during a routine prenatal checkup. Emily's doctor, concerned about her stress levels and the suspicious bruises, ordered additional tests. The ultrasound revealed something unexpected: twins. Emily broke down crying, but this time they were tears of joy mixed with determination. "He doesn't deserve to know about them," she whispered, watching the two tiny heartbeats on the screen. "These babies are mine to protect." That same day, we received an unexpected ally. Marcus's secretary, Jennifer, reached out through Anna. She had evidence, years of documentation showing Marcus's pattern of abuse, not just with Emily but with previous girlfriends. She'd been keeping records, waiting for someone to finally stand up to him. "I should have done this sooner," Jennifer wrote in her statement. "But watching him try to destroy Emily and her babies, I can't stay silent anymore." Our parents, however, doubled down on their stance. Mom showed up at my office, causing a scene in the lobby. "You've always been a bad influence on your sister," she hissed. "Emily had everything: a successful husband, a beautiful home, respect in the community. You've helped her throw it all away for some ridiculous paranoid fantasy." I stayed calm, remembering what Anna had advised. "Mom, I'm recording this conversation. Would you like to continue explaining why you support an abusive man over your pregnant daughter?" She left in a huff, but not before announcing that she'd already changed her will. Neither Emily nor I would see a penny of our inheritance, as if that mattered more than Emily's safety or the futures of her unborn children. That evening, as Emily and I sat on my balcony sharing a pitcher of virgin mojitos, her new pregnancy craving, she seemed different. Calmer, more resolved. "You know what's strange?" she said, watching the sunset. "I always thought losing Mom and Dad's approval would destroy me. But sitting here, knowing my babies are safe, feeling truly free for the first time in years, I realized their approval came with chains." I squeezed her hand, remembering the scared, sobbing woman who'd shown up at my door that rainy night. My sister had found her strength, and in supporting her, I found mine too. "The twins will have all the love they need," I assured her. "Sometimes family is who you choose, not who you're born to." Emily smiled, resting her hands on her growing belly. "They'll have the best aunt in the world, that's for sure." The road ahead would still be challenging. Marcus's threats continued, though they held less power now. Our parents' campaign of emotional manipulation would likely never end. But watching Emily bloom into the strong, independent woman she was meant to be, I knew we'd made the right choice that night. Some choices define you. Some battles are worth fighting. And sometimes being a good sister means standing firm when the whole world tries to make you back down. 6 months later, I stood in the hospital room, holding my newborn niece Charlotte while Emily cradled her twin brother James. The journey to this moment had been intense, but seeing these perfect little faces made everything worth it. Marcus had tried everything to regain control during Emily's pregnancy. He'd sent flying monkeys, mutual friends and colleagues, to guilt trip her. He'd threatened to sue for full custody once the babies were born. He even tried to get her medical records illegally, but our new doctor was wise to his tactics. Our parents made their final dramatic stand 2 weeks before the twins' birth. They showed up at my apartment with a family therapist in tow, attempting an intervention. "This has gone on long enough," Mom declared while the therapist nodded sympathetically. "Emily needs to return to her husband and restore our family's reputation." What they didn't expect was Emily's response. 8 months pregnant, glowing with confidence, she calmly played them the recordings we gathered, Marcus's threats, their own manipulative calls, the testimony from his previous victims. "I'm not the one who needs therapy," Emily said, her voice steady. "But I'd suggest you both look into why you value your social status more than your daughter's life." The therapist, to her credit, looked horrified. She handed Emily her private card before leaving, mouthing "I'm so sorry" on her way out. Now, watching Emily with her twins, I saw no trace of that scared woman who'd appeared at my door. She was radiant, strong, and completely in love with her babies. The door opened and Anna poked her head in, ready for some good news. "We've been waiting for this." The court had finally ruled on Marcus's custody petition. The judge reviewed all the evidence, Anna said, grinning. "Marcus gets no custody, supervised visitation only, and he has to complete anger management and domestic violence counseling before even that's allowed." Emily hugged her babies closer. "They're safe," she whispered. "They're really safe." "There's more," Anna continued. "Jennifer's testimony opened a whole investigation. 3 more women have come forward. Marcus's firm placed him on indefinite leave pending their own investigation." Justice felt sweet, but the best revenge was living well. Emily had blossomed in these months of freedom. She'd started an online support group for pregnant women leaving abusive relationships, turning her experience into hope for others. I'd changed too. Standing up to our parents' toxic behavior had freed me from decades of trying to meet their impossible standards. My apartment had become a real home, filled with baby gear and the sound of family, the kind of family we chose. Mrs. Sullivan from next door became our unofficial grandmother, doting on the twins and teaching Emily her secret recipe for lactation cookies. Jennifer, Marcus's former secretary, was now one of our closest friends. Even my doorman Miguel had appointed himself honorary uncle to the twins. A week after the twins came home, we received a letter from our parents' pastor. Mom and Dad had apparently been sharing their version of events at church, but the story backfired. The pastor's letter expressed support for Emily and included a check from the congregation's Domestic Violence Support Fund. "Your parents seem to have forgotten," he wrote, "that true family protects their own. Your sister is blessed to have you, Catherine." Emily taped the letter to our fridge, not for the money, which she donated back to the church's support fund, but as a reminder that choosing right over easy eventually brings its own rewards. The twins were 6 weeks old when we heard that Marcus had left town, his reputation in shambles. Our parents, facing social consequences for the first time in their lives, had suddenly discovered an urgent need to travel abroad. "Good riddance," Emily said, not even looking up from nursing Charlotte. "The twins deserve better than toxic grandparents." Looking at my sister now, singing softly to her babies in the nursery we painted together, I knew we'd won more than just a legal battle. We'd broken a cycle of abuse and control that could have continued for generations. The twins would grow up knowing what real love looks like. They'd learn that standing up for what's right matters more than keeping up appearances. Most importantly, they'd know that sometimes the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. Emily caught me watching and smiled. "Thank you," she said simply, "for opening your door that night, for everything." I picked up James, who was starting to fuss. "That's what real family does," I replied. "We'll always have each other's backs." And we did. We chosen love over fear, truth over appearances, and courage over comfort. In doing so, we built something better than the perfect family image our parents had tried to force. We built a genuine one.